Uh, I'm here to talk to. I mean, if you want to know this stuff all ahead of time, that's fine by me. But this is to you who just finished eighth grade. You're out of middle school, going on to high school, and don't click out of the video because I'm on Fortnite. That's just something to keep me occupied because I find it a little bit more awkward. Just face cam. But high school's a big step. Usually before then, like elementary school didn't impact your life too much. Middle school impacted you a little bit because like that determines what classes you are recommended in high school. It was like the last week of school, and that actually no, it was before the last week of school. It was I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks before school ended, and we were hand out papers on what our high school schedule would be. We had our schedule, the list of classes, and recommended classes. It was only two papers a person recommended, and our actual schedule were on. In fact, I think it was all on paper. Uh, which I'm going to assume most schools did that. Like it would show the classes that you could take, which there's a lot. But if there's a certain class that you're not able to get to until you're in like a certain grade level, like I can't think. Web design is like a junior senior class, and you have to take like intro to computer science and probably one other class to get there. Called prerequisites. Yeah, at least I'm pretty sure it's called that. Might be. It's Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's prerequisites. And those are just classes you have to take beforehand. And I know on Twitter I've seen some people say that school's already started for them. Maybe they're homeschooled or like school just starts this time. Uh, I mean, I'm still, we don't start till August. So, I still have a little bit. I'll still be streaming plenty. But not about me streaming and when school starts. Now, high school can be rough. You gotta really know what you don't, it's not a point to where, you have to know what you want to do with your life. That won't come till you have to drive. Because that's when your parents are probably gonna want you to get a job since you're able to drive and everything. Or get like a, in fact, my friend was, even before he could drive, she was doing stuff at like Camp T and everything. So like a day camp thing. You could like help out with that, or even just do free work. Or just do like summer activities, because those are always a good time. If you don't want to be, if you're one that gets bored easily, that's stuff to do. But it's good to have knowledge of what will happen in the real world. Like it can't be before or after you enter high school to have that knowledge, but it's useful either way. And also, high school can be hard. I know it was hard for me, but that's just my mindset. Like the way I think. If you don't know, I have ADHD, so I usually want to be doing multiple things just that way I don't get bored of one thing too quickly, which is why I'm doing this. But also, I don't know if all high schools will have this class, but I definitely did. It was a class called PCC, Preparing for College and Careers, where basically it was a one-semester class where it told you, you learned everything you need when you become an adult and a little bit beforehand. Like, we did checking, we did job stuff, like job interviews, just looking at flat out jobs, what we want to be. Which for me, I had no idea. I knew that I want to continue doing YouTube. Not to probably like a major level, but to a level where I can still do it, but maybe do it better from just live streaming and editing. But I mean, it's going well for me, doing it that way. Man, I usually get off track of what I'm talking about. Now, oftentimes when you hear about, like, say, I read comic books. I don't know about you guys, like Foxtrot. I mainly read Foxtrot, Dilbert, and Calvin and Hobbes, which are really good actually. But Foxtrot, so there is okay, there's Peter, Paige, and Jason. So Jason was in elementary school, but he was the smartest kid there, always thinking of crazy schemes. Then there was Paige, who I'm pretty sure was 2 years younger than Peter. So I'm pretty sure Paige was freshman and sophomore. I'm going into my sophomore year, so. And Peter was a junior and senior. I'm pretty sure. But I remember this one strip very clearly that first day, I'm pretty sure Peter was taking French. The teacher handed out books and just straight up started talking in French. That's not at all what real life world languages are. For sure, I can't give an exact ratio, like, I don't know, 3/5 of it would be the language. Because, like, you talk about it, I took Spanish for one semester. Not gonna take it seconds. Not gonna actually, no, I took it for 2 semesters. I mean, learning a new language is hard. Now, Spanish is I'd say the easiest one, and it's the one that you'll find most common in at least the US. And I had a lot of fun taking the world language, so I recommend it. It's very useful. It'll actually help you get a job, because if you know, like, even if you just took 1 year of it, it'll show the person that, like, when you're getting a job, you can say that you took a language, which is very useful in the sense that it will help you get a job. You're actually told that in the college careers class. So I definitely recommend that. You're gonna have to take a science class. I don't know for how many years. You're gonna have to take a math class for 4 years. Pretty sure all you guys were told that about, like, the years you'd have to take a certain type of class. I don't know if you guys have a speech class, but where I am, we have that. But if you don't know, deadlines become a whole lot more important. So maybe in, like, middle school, it's like, okay, we'll give you like a week to get it back before we take away all points, and you get a 0 on this type of, like, just a homework or something. in high school, the most, depending if you were absent, if you were there that day, you got the assignment. If you lost it, like, say it fell out on the bus or something and you wouldn't be able to complete it and bring it in the next day, email the teacher as soon as you find out that you don't have the assignment anymore. Like maybe you forgot it in class or something and it was due the next day. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna email you back like a PDF for the assignment. You can just print that out. So always, in help, asking for help is the best thing you could do. I didn't do that at all. And by the end of the year, I realized if I asked for help more than I did, which I ask for help a little bit every now and then, you need to ask for help whenever you need it. It's a big thing. Because teachers are, high school is the point where success is the best thing that could happen. And you need to be successful in high school to be successful anywhere else. So asking for help, you don't have to take a world language. If you don't think you're ready for that, you can take it later or not at all. It's just helpful later in life. I mean, I use a little bit of Spanish every now and then. Like, if you're a huge gamer, it's useful to, like, just know how to ask them if they even speak English. Like, if you can say a little bit of a certain language, you'll be able to detect it. I mean, usually they have a very distinct dialect. Like, for Spanish, if you hear, like, a rolled R, rico, or, which means, rich and all that. I'm pretty sure it's used in a food sense. Like, el bistec es muy rico. I'm decent at rolling my R's. Fun fact, I was the only white male to be able to roll my R's. There's 3 other girls that could. One of them was the teacher. The other 2 both have taken Spanish before. Well, one of them grew up in a Spanish family. The other one just took Spanish earlier in life and learned it. When you enter high school, it's good to have a decent idea on what you want to do. You don't have to have an exact idea. But if you know a general idea, like the type of field, like, say, engineering, if you know you want to be somewhere along the lines of an engineer, whether it be, like, here we have the Purdue Boilermakers, which is the School of Engineering. If you want to do, I don't know, public transportation, there's actually I, for one, had the option of taking a class for that. I didn't, because I knew that public transportation, not something I want to see myself doing in the next, like, 5 years of my life. So if you have a general field of what you want to do, then you can get a main idea. I don't know if all schools are like this, but I think it was before the month of September, you're able to change your schedules because when I took computer science, I liked it at first, but then it got a little too hard for me, and I didn't ask to change my class, not anything. I didn't ask how or where I could go to change my class. And I would have if I could. Trade it out for a study hall. Study halls are, might sound like something you don't want to have in your schedule, but it's something you can really gain from. I mean, one reason is if you get lucky, in my school, if for during finals, if you had like a final and then a study hall, you could leave since study halls don't have finals. But also, you, like, say you need help or you just want extra practice on like a world language, a study hall is the best way to do that. Let's see what else. Really just find out ask your parents. Because the more, are you kidding me? Because they've already been through high school. They'll know everything you need to know. And you can just gain more by asking people that have gone to high school. Like, about anything you could possibly want to know. Is campfire over here? No. Oh, I have a campfire. But the most knowledge you can have going into high school is the best thing. Trying to find out other things that are useful to know. Don't stress, because I can't stress, because I can't say this enough. Anything you can ask help for, you should. If you need help on an assignment, you don't understand something, your parents will most likely know. If not, try showing the material that you're learning, and they'll usually have a decent understanding on how to help you. I guess that's pretty much it. Just ask for help, don't stress, because you can always ask for help to relieve stress. Counselors are there to help. Don't be afraid to ask them anything. And again, if you want a group of friends, make sure you can trust them. And because you're not going to be friends with everyone you're friends with since elementary school. You might be friends with some of them. I know for a fact that I'm still friends with someone I knew from kindergarten. But in high school, after like, I don't know, the first quarter, I knew that that wasn't the group I wanted to be with, so I started hanging out with different people. And just have common sense. Because we have a sore topic, but there's this, I think he was a freshman. He might have been. But just know what you're doing. 2 people died. One was because a drunk driver. But there's this other guy. We didn't know much of his motive. We had no idea what he was doing. why he was doing it. My friend knew him. But he was... Dang. He was going out to kill someone. And he crashed. Those are sad, but also there was this one guy. He might have been new. I don't know. Pretty sure he was a junior. We'll just call him Tom. He he was a normal kid. He was doing fine. But then he just got the dumbest idea. He brought a watermelon to school. Not to eat it, but to smash it in the middle school, no, not middle school, high school common area. He got suspended. One, because he didn't pick it up. Pretty sure watermelon can get sticky, and it was a little hard for the janitors to clean it out. This was in middle school, but also this one kid, super smart, really great kid. We'll call him, I don't know, Chris. So Chris was extremely smart. He had everything going for him. He was really into computers, but he decided to use his knowledge to get his friend off the whitelist. Now, for school-issued computers, the whitelist is a set of people. If you're whitelisted, you can do less stuff. You're not usually invited. It's your parents' decision to put you on the whitelist if they know they're just going to be irresponsible. And he decided to get one of his friends off the whitelist, which, in case you don't know, that's a federal offense. Straight up FBI stuff. And he managed to get past the school firewall on a Chromebook during class. He decided to do this. I'm pretty sure he said that the Wi-Fi was better there than it was at home, which is why he did it there. It might have been on one of the Windows computers though, because in tech class, really fun. We did drafting. And we use this program. It's an amazing program. I forget what it's called. But it's really fun. And we use it to draft. And we would 3D print. No, we didn't 3D print stuff. That was during the summer thing. But we used that program to make models. And we'd print the dimensions and everything. And then we'd put that onto, like, I don't know, wood. And then cut it out and everything. I think the first time we did it was for foam cars. Maglev cars, but he decided to get people off the whitelist, which he managed to get one person, which was his friend, and just be responsible, and just don't do anything stupid. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll see what I do in the next one.